In this video, we'll cover how you can use Figaf IRT for collecting test data from your SAP PI PO system. And this is one of the key features that it has, and it enables you to fetch all of these messages, and then you can use them as test cases. And this is one of the places where the tool is really strong, because it's really simple to collect a lot of test cases and start using it. So there's some different ways that you can use for fetching data from this. So there's the if it's an ICO, this is the simplest, because that's the object that we're using mostly. You also have the option of doing manual upload if you have test files downloaded and you want to upload those manually. And then you got an option for Dualstack system that we'll not cover here that much. If this is interesting, so when Dualstack system, I mean with receiver determination and receiver with the receiver determination objects, where the message is passing through the ABAP stack. So running, so fetching, the way it fetches messages is it's a fully automated approach that fetches messages that are coming from live system and where the messages is being processed. It can only record coming messages, so we don't have the option of looking at past messages and reuse those as test cases. So how does it work? So you simply select an ICO, you press record messages, it will show you a list here, will show this live. And here we have this message and partner information up here. And here you can specify information about, so a message and a partner is a way to give more information about what really is going on in this case. So if you have orders, different order types, and you want to ensure that you're testing all different order types, you want to specify this in an XPath that points to this order type. That means that each of these different messages with different order types would be separated into different test cases, and you can then figure out how many test cases do we have for the different ones, and do I cover all of these. The same is obviously true for partners, where you can also get information from them. We do have an option also of entering parameters if you want to do that. So when it collects the data, it will use these abbreviation and insert them into the test data. We also have an option, if you have the EDI separator and is using that one, you must specify which EDI separator or which flow with an EDI separator you want to be using. So that is not in the current build, but that will also be in one of the next releases. So this is mostly EDI messages that we want to split. Then you just point to the iFlow that we can send a message in through, where it will be split in the right way. Then once you have specified these things, you want to start the recording, and here you select the interfaces, press start, and then what IRT does is it log onto this system with the API, opens the communication channel that is connected to this one, adds modules in the beginning and the end of the processing chain. And obviously if there's some modules like a PDP module or some other scenarios, it may add these modules in a different location. And if it's detecting that it is a synchronous, asynchronous, async bridge or one of these other bridges, it may place these modules in a different way to give you the best recording options. Then it will also send a message that says, hey, record the next 5 messages or whatever you want to specify on this interface. And then you can once this interface is then invoked, it will save the message into the GMS queue, and then it will be processed or sent all the way to, or once the message is being sent and received by the receiving system, it will also be saved. And obviously, if the message is split, it will save all of these different messages. So you can have a one-to-many scenario where you're getting multiple different output messages that you want to be working on. And then you just wait until you have collected all the different test data that you want. And then we get this list, and we can see how many messages that we've recorded for each of these different scenarios. We can see the status. We can stop if we don't want to collect this anymore. Then it will send a message back to the agent, hey, don't record these messages anymore. And if you have collected the 5 messages, it will also stop recording more messages. You can, if you press the play, it will move these as test cases that you can start using. The copy option here will allow you to start creating this test case again. So if you set up something but the messages wasn't there, or there was something wrong, you can always use this one to start one or more of these messages again. And then we got this option to check for remote systems. So this is if you have HTTP download, then you want to press this to fetch messages. If you want to hurry the process and you know the message has been there, but don't want to wait for the scheduling. So what kind of objects can you record? So ICO is the best object, and an iFlow obviously is converted into an ICO. So there we're recording the ICO. Send agreements, you can also set up specify recordings of send agreements, because that's the best approach for that. Let's see. So now it's manual upload, so let's do our demo. So if we want to do a recording, we will go here to our integration object. So here we are on our agent. We will do a synchronization. Synchronization will fetch all current objects that we have. And if we just want to do a simple recording, we'll just see. We can search if we specify a correct search criteria here. So I do like these. I'll create a new recording, and we'll create a new template. So a template is a grouping of different test cases. So, and this is the main object that you're using when running these test cases, because it's a lot easier to have them grouped together. We want to create a new one, or we could have selected an existing one. Course, and we want to open the template creation page after we have done this. And we can say we want 5 messages for this one. We want to do 4 messages. We can specify an XPath here. Oh, this is probably here. So we'll do a save. Now it has created this one. So right now it has just created the test case and said this is what I want to do, but it hasn't started doing it yet. So you need to select them all, select create recording, and this will go into the recording phase, and then it will just wait until we have received these different messages. And this will take a little while because we are going to depending on when these messages is being processed. We haven't got any now. So now we do have some messages here that has been processed, and this is good. We don't want to wait for any more. We can see we got this this box loaded for these two guys that says, hey, we got all the test data for the scenarios. So let's check if there's from the other one yet. Okay, so we'll just create test cases on these two. And then it's just press create test case, and then we can see this has been counted down, and we're still waiting for the last 3 messages. But we can now see we have this in this scenario over here, and it's a lot easier to deal with. Yes. I think that was all for the automated recording. So you simply just select the IQ that you want to deal with, and then it automatically figures out what are the patterns that it's using and where to put modules on this. So next one is the manual upload. So manual upload is a function that enables you to take if you have downloaded the test messages from some other system, you can use the manual upload as a way of collecting the data and upload them in one go. So yeah, third-party migration. If you're going from something else to PI, then you want to use this. You create a zip file with a metadata JSON file, and then you have all the in and outbound documents, and you have a dynamic attribute. And this is something that we haven't migrated yet to version 2.0, but this will also come pretty soon. But the basis here is you're specifying how many messages you have. You select an ICO. It will figure out these are the different receiver interfaces that you have. These are the different output interfaces that you have, and then you can specify how many you have, what are the templates that you have, and if you have dynamic attributes. Then you just create a zip file with this, upload it to the system, and then it will process it in that way. It's not supporting async, sync bridge and stuff like that, but it's supporting sync and async scenarios. Dualstack recording. So Dualstack recording is supported as a normal recording, and this is if you have a receiver determination where it's using the ABAP system for something. So the message must be going through a Java adapter at some point in either at the receiver or the sender's side, and then you must do the recording on that specific case. And then we create a separate ICO. There's a guide on how you set this up that is fetching the other message that is in this this flow, get the missing data, and then start using it. We have not tested this in real life on productive side, so this is something that we probably need to figure out how it works in your scenario. But it is an option for you to do if you want to do migration from a dual stack system to a single stack system. You can do modification of test cases. So a modification could be that you're getting this data and you want to do a change on this. And for instance, on this one, we can see it's using the B2B number range. And we may want to do something around this because it should be changed, something like that. Then we can simply log in and change this. So right now I do have a set of test cases created on this course. So you can log into this one, I can see the test cases that we just created. So I can go in here and I can see what are the different messages that we have. I can edit it. So edit. Save. I can download the content and I can add dynamic attributes for it if I want to do that. I don't want to do that right now. So this is a powerful way to do smaller changes, and we can also see if there's been done any changes here once we get the log up and working again. So that was that. And I guess maybe this is some testing. So you can take, so if you have a testing result, once you get to that one, you can mark it as test case. This will then say, okay, this is our new test. We want to use this as our basis for testing future documents. Then next module will be about testing and how you can test these messages or with these messages that you have collected.